Okay, so what I'm trying to do today is fix a problem that I have with raccoons. So far what we've experienced is that even though the feeders we have, I changed the feeders that are all metal parts. My experience in the past is that if I had feeders that had any plastic parts, typically in the springtime and summertime, the squirrels just chewed up any plastic parts and wound up destroying a lot of the even the metal drum feeders. If they had like plastic motors, that the housing for the motors, if that was plastic, I've had squirrels completely chew it off, and where the motor just falls off of the feeder. So all the feeders I have now are all metal. They're metal drums. They have, the lids are, a lot of these now have, they have plastic lids, but I haven't had any problems with the squirrels on the plastic lids. But anything to do with the motor or anything where the corn comes out, it's all metal. So squirrels are no longer a problem. But I run solar panels on everything. I run solar panels on every feeder that I have, and the raccoons climb up these legs on these feeders, and I guess they get frustrated because they really can't get much corn out of the thing, and they will destroy anything they can really get a hold of. And it's always the wire on the solar panel. So they wound up chewing it in half, breaking it. A lot of, whatever they can do, they yank it apart, they're gonna do it. So what I'm trying today is I am trying to use some thick rubber. This is actually airline hose. This is like for an air compressor. So it's actually a thick rubber hose. It's one of the best ones that I could find. This stuff was, I think it's 99 cents a foot. But what I'm trying to accomplish here is have something that is too tough for a raccoon to chew through it rather quickly. So it really doesn't take much to go from the solar panel over to the motor box. Then I'm going to take just a typical razor knife and split this hose, and that way I can feed the wires into it. If I have a feeder where a raccoon has already broke the wire or something like that, I'm just running the wire through the hose. I'm not splitting the hose. One thing is, my only concern doing this would be if rainwater got down in the hose. But when I split this hose, I'm going to split it on the bottom side. So hopefully any water that goes into it will just wind up dripping out the bottom. So that's the thing. You don't want your split to be on the top side. You want your split to be on the bottom side when it's hanging. So let that determine let that determine where you where you split your hose in half. But so far it's pretty easy to install. I'm using electrical tape to just tape it to the post and tape it to the motor box, and that's it. And it's not taking but just a few minutes to do this. So hopefully this works. I'll have to do a follow-up and see if this is actually going to work out. In the past, we have made wire cages around our motor box, but it doesn't necessarily protect your wire, and also it makes it very difficult to get to your motor box to make any changes to the programming or change out a battery or something like that. So I don't really want to go through all the trouble to make wire cages, so found this to be very, very simple, and this hose is very tough. It's pretty stiff, and it's also it's pretty thick. So we'll see if it works.